What's up, y'all? Wow, it's been a long time. It's been like 4 months, but I hope you're all doing well. It was kind of crazy to me, or crazy for me, I should say. Just kind of got really busy, and there's a moment that's still stuck in my head of like at a ton of travel jobs, and I remember bringing my camera with me every time because I wanted to so desperately to film like the YouTuber load in intro of like the hotel room and like the whole like oh my god, travel. I thought it'd be so fun just to like, document the trip and everything. And each job, it was just too busy and too crazy, and I just didn't have the discipline to do it. So maybe if I want to, I'll roll like a little highlight video right here. I've always wanted to do that, so hopefully I did it, and that'd be kind of funny if I didn't, because then it'd just be me talking about how I wanted to do it and I didn't do it, so that'd be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? Honestly, there's been a lot of really cool things. I think the last video I had, I really was comfortable in front of the camera, but I think I was still nervous, whereas now I really feel like I've had the time to, like through podcasts and through, the YouTube videos I have made and all the videos that I've made that I just haven't posted, I really feel comfortable, and it's actually kind of dope. So I'm feeling like I'm able to be like myself, and that's all I want to be. I don't want to be anything else. So the topic of this episode is really going to be pretty simple. It's going to be talking really about like eliminating resistance, and another word of resistance could be procrastination, and just things that make you resistant to do the things that you want to do or the things that you need to do. And there's a lot of things for that, like within the setup. Like for me, like physically, the setup of recording this is a way of eliminating resistance. I finally kind of figured out a way to make it look nice, but also to not take up so much of my space and time just to get it set up and ready. Now it takes about 5 minutes or less. So the resistance level is like way lower. And then I think I've eliminated a lot of resistance in myself, like internally. Because I think there was a lot of resistance of like the fear of what could be, if that makes sense. I think like the whole thing of starting YouTube and, trying to build a presence on social media, like on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the things. It can be kind of freaky because it's like, okay, it's like not only just a lot of eyes looking into your life, and that's kind of weird to think of like how many people see my office space or like my room, all these things, or like see my daily life. That's kind of weird. But then it's also the thought of like you now open yourself up to like the fear of failure, and also like the fears to like to grow, and what like the changes and everything that involves with that growth. And that's really, I think, where I got caught up, and I kept like catching myself in my own snare, so to speak, of just like, I want all these things and I desire all these things, but like I kept catching myself saying, I really want to do these things, but I also am afraid of what that looks like. And I think that fear was something that really like held me back. And I really just kind of found a way to essentially like eliminate that with resistance, and what I mean by that is like I honestly started talking to some friends that were really successful in social media. My friend Ben specifically. So Ben, if you're watching, I really appreciate you, my friend. Like seriously. And oh man, it's just like studying the people that you really enjoy and like really breaking down how they build content. And even the people from afar too, just seeing like how someone does it, what they're doing, and seeing how they create really just has an incredible way to eliminate the resistance for you, because you can like say, okay, I'm going to study how they're doing it, and I'm going to try to build a formula for myself off of that. And not like it has to be a regimen, like detailed formula, but I just kind of created mental notes of like, this is how so-and-so makes their daily like content on social, like on TikTok, for instance. And it then like, you watch it, it's a produced piece, and it seems a little bit more nerve-wracking. And then you like break it down, and you're like, okay, cool. It's actually not as intense as it seems. And that's something that I am really stoked about, because I'm kind of trying to launch into all of those. So I mentioned all this about, resistance, right? And I think that's just something really good to highlight, is like, what are the resistance points in your life? Like, what are points of resistance for you, whether it's like eliminating barriers of like, I didn't want to set up, 2 stands, a boom arm, like all these different things for my videos each week. I didn't want to do that. That's just too much work. So what I did is found the best way of like using my podcast mic and a little tiny light on my camera, and then a little Joby arm, and that's perfect for me. You can grab that if you want. Oh, I gotta pause because my mom's here. Hi. So as I was saying, really the biggest thing for me to kind of break down the barrier, I guess, within the space was just figuring out a system that worked for me. And this system I'm actually really happy with. I've done some lighting tests, and I think it's really solid for what it needs to be. And it's really just super simple. And I'm really stoked on that. And as far as like the mental blocks go, I think that's where it gets a little bit more convoluted. It's a little harder to kind of pinpoint what it is for yourself. And I honestly feel like I hit that breakthrough moment for me, a lot of it, like this morning, actually, which is really interesting. I think a big thing for me was the fear of starting. Like that was a big part of it. But then it really uncovered, or I really uncovered, that it was mainly a fear of what it could be. And it's the fear of potential. I think because it feels like, wow, you're letting all these people look into your life and you're doing all these things and you're like, potentially growing a big audience, which is the goal I think every creator has. And I think you hit this point of fear of what your potential could lead, because it's like, in a sense, like world shaking. You have a fear of like what people could say about you, like I guess what the whole elevation of like a platform really could hold. And there's so many cool things about that, but I think no one really, at least that I've found, that talks about like the fears of that whole space, because it is freaky. And it made me think honestly about like, what are those fears in my life? And I think I really had the fear of what it could be. And I think a big thing is a fear of not wanting to lose myself in it, because you can get so caught up in like the format of doing something that maybe doesn't work for you, or the format of like trying to enhance your day or like elevate your day so it looks important and fun. I started filming like a TikTok vlog, right? There's a guy named Jack Cook, and I really like the way he does his. And I kind of studied the way he does his formula, like, and how he just does a voiceover kind of recapping it. And I built out a formula for me and how I'm going to do it, and we'll see. But I'm so far really stoked on it. But what I caught myself doing was like, okay, do I need to like pause and like clean the dishes in the sink before getting a sink shot? It's like, no, like yes, I should do my dishes, but like I was just like, I'm just not going to show that, because I think the thing for me was like, I don't want to get caught up in like trying to enhance the optic of my life so that these vlogs look cooler. I want to just document. And I think that was just the thing for me of like, I have to be mindful to just document and not try to pause and enhance or inflate what's going on in my life. So to get down to the brass tacks, I don't want to lose myself because of social media, because of TikTok, because of YouTube, Instagram, all these things, right? I don't want to lose myself. I want to be authentic. And I think that desire to want to be vulnerable is freaky, because it means like now someone's going to know like not where I am, but like what my room looks like, what my desk looks like, all these things. And it's like the things about your life that are pretty vulnerable become pretty open, and then, just kind of shakes things up a little bit. I don't think that's bad. I'm just coming to you saying that was one of my genuine like concerns, I think, of like what life could look like and what it would turn things into. And I think I don't really know a perfect example of why or how I figured that out. I think I just molded around in my head enough and got a formula that would work for me. And I kind of broke it down to the point of why not? Why not do it? If I were to be honest and tell you, my goals for myself of where I want to grow, what I want to do, accomplish, achieve, all these things, all the signs direct towards YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and building a social platform and like a personal brand alongside my freelance work in my business. And it's kind of that thing of like, that's where I felt like for years that I needed to step into, but I was just afraid to do it. And I think I chalked it up to the fear that I just ranted about, and I think that I just kind of hit a point of why am I letting these points of resistance, these fears, freak me out? Because it's, all the signs point to doing these things and starting, these channels and like putting out content and like being vulnerable and opening myself up to be authentic in myself. Why am I letting that hold me back? What's that resistance for? What do I have to lose? That's like the thing I had in my head. And the only thing I feel like I have to lose is the fear. So why not lose it? That sounds kind of badass. I kind of like that. I'm going to say that again. The only thing that I thought through my head was, what do I have to lose? And really, the only thing I had to lose was the fear itself. So why not lose it? So here we go. We're going to press into it. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to press into the whole space of, trying to put out content on a regular basis. It's going to be a challenge for me. I'm going to try to press through all of the craziness of the life and everything. Everyone's lives are crazy too. So like, not just because like I have an excuse of, oh my gosh, it's been busy. Busy does not mean better. And I have slacked on this and I need to get better at it. So I'm stoked to do it. I'm glad that I feel a lot more confident. I feel a lot more myself. I think I was afraid to feel bubbly because I didn't want it to be like, it's like taken like you're just a stereotypical like bubbly YouTuber. I'm just like a bubbly, like happy person. But I also talk really monotone and I have the biggest resting bitch face. So I need to be mindful of that and just have fun with it because I like to have fun and that's just where I'm at. So, I hope you like this. I hope you like the format. I do. It's really easy too for me. And so I'm going to do it. And if you don't like it, hopefully you can get over it. So peace out. I hope you have a great day. And we're always going to still do those. I don't know why. I think it's the best transition. Fight me.